The 18th edition of the Indian Premier League is just a day away, with reigning champions Kolkata Knight Riders taking on Royal Challengers Bengaluru in the tournament opener, and it promises to be an exciting clash. But if we talk about some of the things that have really made the news just ahead of the Indian Premier League 2025, it is the change of rules that the tournament has had. So there are basically a total of 5 new rules that have been introduced in this edition of the Indian Premier League. And what are they? Well, let's have a look. Well, number 1 here is that saliva ban has been revoked, and that's basically a great news for the fast bowlers here. Now, it's something that Mohammad Shami had advocated during the Champions Trophy here, wherein he had made a plea to the necessary stakeholders that the saliva ban should be revoked so that the bowlers can get that much needed reverse swing that is very much needed on top level cricket here. And now, just to make sure that there's going to be balance between both bat and ball, the saliva ban has been revoked, and it is indeed a great news for the bowlers here. Secondly, there are going to be 2 balls for the second innings here, especially in case of all the IPL matches. Now, because all the matches are going to be day and night, so specifically in case of the second innings, there is going to be due. So as to counter that, umpires will be allowed to make sure that the second new ball comes into the picture here after the 11th over of the second inning. So that's pretty much about it, that if they want to counter the due, which they surely want to, there is going to be the usage of a second new ball here. And last but not the least on this particular slide, that no bans on captains for slow over rates. Now, this is something that we had seen in the previous edition of the IPL when Rishabh Pant and Hardik Pandya had been banned for a match each because of slow over rate. But then this time around, there's going to be no ban on captains as far as the slow over rate goes. Now, in this particular case, there's going to be a punishment of demerit points. So if we talk about level 1, there's going to be an issuance of demerit points, or the penalty of demerit points, with the fines as far as the salaries are concerned, the player salaries are concerned. And in level 2, it can basically go up to 4 demerit points, and in accordance with that, the umpires will decide whether they want to ban a particular captain or not. So these are pretty much the things on this slide. Saliva ban has been revoked, 2 balls for second innings, and no bans for slow over rates. And if we take a look at the other 2 points here, Hawkeye will be used for the white calls. And what are the white calls in this case? We are talking about the outside off stump white calls and obviously over the head of the batter white call. So in this particular case, Hawkeye will be used so as to make sure that technology gets a lot more importance, and at the very same time, it is used a lot in the cash-rich Indian Premier League. And last but not the least, player replacements will be allowed until the 12th league match. So earlier, until the season of 2024, the player replacements were allowed until the 7th league match. But this time around, the IPL Governing Council and the necessary stakeholders at the BCCI have extended it to the 12th league match of the season. So that's basically where until the player replacements will be allowed. In case of many teams, quite a few players have been ruled out earlier, even before the start of the season, like Corbin Bosch has been drafted in by the Mumbai Indians. Now, if we talk about the other teams also, they've also had a few replacements. And in case of LSD, there's a chance that Shardul Thakur might just make the cut for them. Remember, he's currently a net bowler for them. So that's the rule, that player replacements will now be allowed until the 12th league match of the season. So that's basically in a nutshell as far as the 5 new IPL rules are concerned for the season of 2025 and going beyond. So stay tuned to Sports Today as we'll bring you all the latest updates and analysis from the sporting world.